This podcast is sponsored by the Fireman Moving Company. The Fireman Moving Company is the official moving company of WKU Athletics. Not only can they be trusted to move all the coaches in and out of Western, but they can move you anywhere nationwide. The Fireman Moving Company is owned and operated by firemen and is founded by WKU alumni. If you're looking to move sometime soon, give them a call at 270-791-1755 and get yourself a free quote. Welcome to Topper Talk, your number one Western Kentucky athletics podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Moffitt, and I'm joined by co-host Tyler Bailey. Hilltopper Nation, whether it's happening on the hill or on the road, grab those red towels, stand up and cheer, because it's up next on Topper Talk. All right, welcome back, and thank you for downloading and listening to another episode of the Topper Talk podcast. We are the official podcast of the Red Towel Trust Collective, and we're a proud member of the College Huddle podcast community. As always, follow along with all of our social medias. Pretty much any platform you can find us on there at Topper Talk. Got Tyler here with me, man. We've got a fun victory to recap. You ready to get diving into it?
Man, another week, another WKU victory. Let's go.
But before we do that, as always, we have to get caught up with our Red Towel wrap-up, which catches us up on all the athletics that we've missed since we last recorded. And that segment is brought to us by Trent Bedding Company.
Don't forget your headboard, pillows, and your sheets. We got everything you need for a good night's sleep. Number one on the same check, best of Bowling Green.
All right. Hey! Twin, full, queen, and king. Mattresses for anything. Come and pick it out and we can bring it to your house. Have you sleeping real good before the weekend's out. Trent Bedding. It's just like a mattress store. Hey.
You gotta love that. All right, so starting off cross country at the Angel Mounds Invitational in Evansville. Women's team finished second. Kinley Kunkel, she finished in second place, and Mary Dye finished in third. Moving on to the men's, they finished in eighth place with Hollis Johnson finished in the spot 53, and Jared Sanfus finished 57th.
Yeah, good showing by both of our teams. Both top 10 women in second place. That's amazing. Kinley Kunkel, little reminder, she's a sophomore. Finished in second place, leading the pack. So really excited for her. Mary Dye, a senior right behind her in third. So really strong showing. Didn't list all the results, all the finishers. It's just a lot of names and results to go over. So as always, find those full results on WKUsports.com.
Moving on to WKU football, the defensive coordinator, Tyson Summers, he was named to the Conference USA Coordinator of the Week following the Sam Houston victory. And Caden Velkamp, he was named to the Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, not to jump ahead to this recap, but obviously we had a good showing when Tyson Summers was selected as the coordinator of the week by 247 and CBS Sports. Really good recognition for him. He obviously, in my opinion, he's been the MVP of this season. Him and his entire staff, and just that defensive side of the ball has been solid. Then Caden Velkamp, obviously we'll dive into the particulars, but had a really good game against Sam Houston. So congratulations to both of those guys.
WKU men's basketball TV times were announced. We're going to have 8 total nationally advised games, and the rest will be on ESPN+.
Yeah, we shared that on our Twitter page. The WKU basketball official team account shared that out a few days ago. We did share that. We'll share that again as we post this episode. Basketball season is upon us. As we record late Tuesday night. First exhibition game is this coming Sunday against UAB here at home. So it's that time where we're going to be crossing over football and basketball. All the games that will be televised nationally are on that graphic that they shared and that we'll share again. And then all the other games, are going to be on ESPN Plus. So it's really hard to complain with the accessibility. If you can't make it to Diddle Arena or to any of the away games, you can pretty much catch them all on TV somehow, some way.
I mean, if you ask me, this right here is the best time of the year when football and basketball games overlap. Sometimes you get a basketball game early in the day, you get a football game in the evening, or vice versa. It's awesome. We got some softball, fall ball. They had a doubleheader versus Lindsey Wilson College.
Yeah, don't know how it turned out. Try to keep up on Twitter and Instagram to see if they would leak any results from that. But they just mentioned that they had a game. I knew we had a doubleheader this past Friday, I think it was. But don't know how that turned out. Obviously, really like what our softball team is doing. A lot of talent over there, and really excited for them as they gear up for the season in the spring.
Now, I would be remiss if I forgot to mention this, but I have been to two of the softball games this season. They're both doubleheaders. One was against Vol State, and the other one was against Campbellsville. And the Lady Toppers came out winning on both. But it was awesome. Definitely fun to go to. WKU Sports announced an NIL deal with Outback Steakhouse with over 30 athletes signed to it.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but ever since they announced this deal, and they've been every athlete's been trickling this out on their social medias, Instagram specifically is where I've seen them. But it really is making me want to go to Outback because their plates, their food, it shows them at like a signing table, signing the deal. Looks like they signed a sports ball as well. So really cool opportunity, really big NIL deal for our athletes and for our school. So great job to everybody involved getting that done. And, if the goal is to get more people to be aware of Outback and want to go there more often, it's already working on me because I'm ready to go eat there. Next time we go out to eat, Outback. That's where we're going.
Outback for the win. The volleyball, they had a match versus La Tech. They beat them 3-0 on Friday and Saturday. Olivia Skidmore named Freshman of the Week, and Callie Bauer named Setter of the Week.
Yeah, Def, Taxes, and WKU volleyball sweeps. I mean, they're now 10-0 in conference. I think all but two of those matches have been sweeps. The FIU games were a little bit tougher for us, but that was on I think it was like 4 matches in 10-day stretch or something like that. So just really happy for this volleyball team. We talked about it early in the season when they struggled through the non-con, that their best volleyball was going to be ahead of them. And now here we are, sitting at 10-0 in conference play and just blowing through everybody. Olivia Skidmore, true freshman outside hitter, has looked really solid multiple times. She's been freshman of the week now. And then same for Callie Bauer. She's been setter of the week multiple times. She just, when you're watching the game, she just has complete control of where the ball's going and knows exactly when to dump it over for the quick, easy point. So congratulations to the team and to both of those athletes for those recognitions.
Now, the men's golf, they played at the Furman Invitational, and they finished 5th place. Stephen Warren, he finished 9th at 4 under, and Nick Hoffman finished 23rd at 1 over.
Yeah, 5th place, good result. The team started a little slow on round 1 of the tournament, but they were able to climb up the leaderboard. I think they were still in the top 10 the whole time, but they were able to climb up to 5th place by the end of the final round. So congratulations to the team. And obviously, same as always, the full results of the Invitational can be found on WKUsports.com.
Now, ladies soccer, they had a match against Liberty, and they fought them to a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, another shutout for Maddie. I mean, that's what she does. She's just been a shutout machine. Unfortunately, we weren't able to put any balls in the back of the net ourselves, but still, better to have a draw than a loss. So we'll take it. Congratulations, ladies.
And some pro top news, Bailey Zappi, he was signed with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, that happened earlier today. Again, we're recording Tuesday night. That happened earlier this afternoon. Obviously, Deshaun Watson got hurt there in Cleveland, and they need to shore up their quarterback room with some more depth. Bailey Zappi had previously been with the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad. Has some playing time under his belt previously with the Patriots. So, he's on their depth chart now. Who knows? Maybe he'll get a chance to get in there and sling the ball around. We've seen him, do some good things when he was with the Patriots. They decided to go with the youth movement and draft a couple this year. And, I still feel sorry for those guys. Their offensive line there in New England's not good, but fresh start. Kansas City was a better opportunity for him. And now Cleveland, I don't know if that's a great spot to be, but at least it's an opportunity. So proud and happy for Bailey.
I hope he has the best luck up there. Women's golf, they're at the Alley in Mississippi. They teed off Monday, currently in 8th place through 2 rounds. And that is without Katie Craig, which she is at the LPGA Q Series qualifying stage in Venice, Florida. She is currently tied for 45th at even par after round 1.
Yeah, really proud of the women's team. First off, at their invitational in Mississippi, really tough field. When I was looking at the standings, just pretty much all SEC, all Power Four, Power Five, whatever you want to call them, ahead of them. But they're still right there battling. And then the first thing I noticed when the golf account put out the lineup for who was playing, I said, Katie Craig's not on there. What's going on? Did a little type in a little research and found out, okay, she qualified for this LPGA Q series a couple months ago. So that's why she's not with the team. She's currently at this event in Venice, Florida. Like you said, she's tied for 45th. She shot even par. Started out slow, did have a bogey early, then had a double bogey after the turn, but was able to put together a couple birdies going down to the 18th to break even par. So we'll keep up with both the women's team and with Katie Craig there at the Q Series event. So really happy and excited for both of those.
And that's it for the Red Towel wrap up. Brought to you by the Trent Bedding Company. Moth, back to you.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Just sports all around, man. It's going on, not slowing down. And basketball is about to start. It's about to get even more hectic in our world as far as keeping up with everything. But first, we've got a football game to recap. And now it has been a little while since we played, but this past Wednesday, October 16th, we went to Huntsville, Texas, and we ended up defeating Sam Houston State 31-14. We went into that game as 1.5 underdogs is what it closed at, but obviously we took care of business. I think both of our score predictions were pretty close to that. We were both in that neighborhood, in that ballpark of what that final score ended up being. Now, the announced attendance for the game was 8,914 people there. Not a great showing, but I think that's to be expected for those midweek games. Still pretty good. Weather wasn't bad. It's just it's a midweek game. People have work, school, etc. WKU with the victory now improves to 5-2 overall. They're 3-0 in Conference USA play. Sam Houston is also 5-2 overall, but they're now 2-1 in conference play. So a really solid tiebreaker. As we're really getting into the meat of Conference USA play. This game started really fast for WKU. We got the ball first, and really went straight down the field and scored immediately. Game was still close at halftime. Third quarter was really slow. No scoring occurred. But then in the fourth quarter, we were able to turn a couple turnovers or mishaps by Sam Houston into some points for WKU for the good guys to take this game home by a comfortable margin. So, Tyler, before we jump into the details and specifics of this game, what are your thoughts on this convincing victory against Sam Houston?
I still think the defense came up huge in this one. As I stated in the post-game show, to me, it didn't feel like the offense was really clicking that good. But the defense held strong and really, other than a few missed tackles and everything, I mean, played, made sure we got the win in this game. So I'm happy as hell that we won. It was good to go down there and beat them. Because I think we were like tied for second in the conference with them, right?
Tied for first, technically. Neither.
Tied for first.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But it's just now it's us and Liberty. So it's always good going there and kind of knock Sam Houston down a peg.
Yeah, convincing victory. And it quite frankly was an important victory as we come down, into the conference schedule. Everybody's now 3 games deep. These games are going to start mattering towards tiebreakers at the end of the season to see who's potentially going to play in or even host the Conference USA Championship game. Sam Houston had, started to look like a contender to be in that position. We still think that we have a really good chance, and by winning this game, it kind of puts us in the driver's seat for that. And we still have Jacksonville State and Liberty, upcoming on our schedule. But who knows? By the time we get to them, they may have lost another game or stumbled. So really, we just have to take care of business one game at a time. And I really like our chances. The way this schedule's setting up, the way our team's looking, the way we're playing. Everything's in front of us right now, and I'm really excited. Now, looking at this game, the game, like I mentioned earlier, it started really quick for us. We marched straight down the field, ended up scoring a 17-yard touchdown pass to River Helms on the game's opening drive. Sam Houston then tied the game on a 37-yard touchdown pass early in the second quarter. Then we added a 51-yard Lucas Canaro field goal to make it 10-7. Sam Houston answered and took the lead with a 50-yard touchdown pass to take the lead at 14-10. Again, some sloppy tackling, like you mentioned there, kind of let that one get loose. Then WKU found a wide open Elijah Young reception to take the lead back and make it 17-14. And that was our halftime score. The third quarter was scoreless. Neither team scored. We were just, trading the ball, putting it back and forth, basically. And then early in the fourth quarter, we had that 74-yard touchdown pass to Caden Hutchison on a screen. Broke a tackle and outran a few guys. Made the score 24-14, and that was following that a Hosea Wheeler blocked field goal. And then when we got the ball back, the last score of the game was a rushing touchdown by Caden Veltkamp. Ran it in from 19 yards out, which also came after a fumble recovery. So, just some sloppy play by Sam Houston in the second half got us to that final score of 31-14. And then, fittingly enough, Upton Stout got the game-sealing interception, after the interception that was overturned earlier in the game, which I still don't understand. Every image and video of that was pretty obvious that there was green between his toe and the line. Overturned and got a penalty as well for taunting because he got an interception and should have been an interception Zombieland. You're right, trademark that. But, overall good game. I think, still offensively, we weren't, like you said earlier, we weren't clicking as well as I would like to see. But our defense is just, again, lights out, holding the team, under 21. I think every game except Alabama, the opponent has scored under 21 points. And the way we're scoring above 30 pretty much every game, we're going to be in position to win a lot of ball games. So I really like our chances moving forward. Tyler, I guess real quick before we jump into some stats and, guys that led the way for us, what are your thoughts on the game and how it played out?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish we would have taken some deep shots. I feel like that's one thing that we was missing. I stated on the after game show that I was out moving hay out of a barn, listening to it on radio, and Terry Opie kept saying you had Keyshawn Johnson on one-on-one most of the game, and I don't know if they just had two safeties back there in the back or whatever, but I feel like Keyshawn probably could have beat his dude had Caden, said get open. So I feel like that's one thing that this game missed. It's good that KD, was able to break that 75-yard touchdown run. And I'm just going to put it on repeat. Defense came up big. After that interception from Stout that was overturned, plus the taunting penalty, Sam Houston had a real short field. So the fact that we was able to hold them and get that turnover really speaks volumes to their grit and their toughness.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was just all in all, man, the defense is just playing lights out. Now, looking at our statistical leaders on the offensive side, we had Caden Veltkamp was our leading passer, 20 out of 29 passing, 281 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown, which earned him a Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week, like you mentioned earlier. Congratulations, Caden, friend of the podcast. Elijah Young had 23 rushes for 97 yards. He also added a receiving touchdown. Katie Hutchison was our leading receiver with 3 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Young had 3 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Mike Matheson had 1 reception for 36 yards and a touchdown. Then River Helms, 3 catches, 28 yards, and a touchdown. So, offensively, even though, it wasn't the most prolific game, the playmakers made some plays. So, Tyler, what are your thoughts on the offense and the guys that showed out in this game?
Well, I would like to say one thing. I don't know if Elijah Young ever played QB in high school, but I know typically we run them trick plays with Dalvin because Dalvin can pass the ball, but it's good to see some trickery put in there. You're right. It wasn't that prolific of a night offensively, but our dudes did come to play. And it seemed like on offense, on the receivers, a lot of people was catching balls, getting yards. Like I said, it was good to see KD able to break that long run. Overall, the dudes played great. I ain't got nothing that I can fault them with, really, especially with River throwing that block on that first drive. He laid him out. That was good I went back and rewatched it, and that was awesome to see.
I think he laid 2 dudes out. I think he laid somebody out and then laid another guy out on that block, man. River was just killing people on that first drive and then capped it off with a touchdown. Really, really good opening drive for River Helms. Now looking at the defensive and the special teams stats. Defensively, we were led by Kylan Guidry. He had 7 tackles, including 1 sack. Keyshawn Swanson had 6 tackles. Anthony Johnson had 6 tackles and 2 passes defended. Then Upton Stout has 6 tackles, 1 pass defended, and 1 interception with an asterisk. Should have been 2. I feel like we're doing this every game. Somebody should have had 2 or more interceptions, and there's an asterisk because they wiped it off. Sebastian Benjamin and Zach Edwards also had sacks in this game. And then looking at our special teams, Lucas Canero was 1 out of 1 on field goals, including that 51-yard just bomb. Second game in a row he's had over a 50-yarder. He was 4 out of 4 on extra points, so perfect day for him. And then Cole Maynard, the punter, didn't have his best game. I think that's safe to say. Definitely had some kicks I'm sure he would like to have back. There was a little chatter on social media, people being like, man, what's going on with Cole? I don't know, but I'm going to give him a pass because it didn't cost us any points or any problems in this game. 5 punts for a 30.4-yard average. He has pretty steadily been in the mid 40s, 43 plus on his average. So had a few short kicks, and I'm sure he would love to have back. I'm sure he'll get on the field, get on the grind, and fix and correct whatever was going on in Sam Houston. I don't know. Not his best outing. I'm sure he would be the first to tell you that. But still, overall, special teams wise, pretty good game. Now let's jump into some key indicators before we get into some grades. So the first downs, WKU had 23, Sam Houston had 22. Third down conversions, WKU was 11 out of 18. That's a winning stat when you're over 60% on your third down conversions. Meanwhile, Sam Houston was 6 out of 15. So just a rough night overall for them, just extending drives. Total yards, surprisingly close. WKU had 411. Sam Houston had 400. Penalties, we've talked about this several weeks now. Had some sloppy games. WKU only had 4 for 35 yards. Meanwhile, Sam Houston had 5 for 55 yards. And then turnovers, WKU had 1. I believe it was interception, if I recall correctly. Or no, it was fumble. Now I don't remember now, but either way, Sam Houston had 2. They had an interception and a fumble. Should have been 3 asterisk, 2 interceptions, Upton Stout. And then time of possession, basically even. WKU 29 minutes and 45 seconds. Sam Houston 30 minutes and 15 seconds. So you really have to circle those third down conversions. 11 out of 18, and only 6 out of 15 for Sam Houston. That was a big factor in this game, and what could have been a real close game if not for some block field goals, fumble there at the end that allowed us to put some distance between us and them. So Tyler, we've got to jump into some grades for this victory. So first, give me a grade for the offense versus Sam Houston.
Offense, I'm gonna go with A minus. Like I said earlier, it kind of some of their play calling kind of left me wanting. I was expecting just a deep pass or a really big play to come out at any time. Only one really did with the Katie Hutchinson 75-yard scamper. Rack, yeah. But I give it an A minus.
I'm going to go with a B, not quite an A. Just I don't know. Just I would still like to see a little bit more from our offense, and that's not saying our offense played bad by any means. Caden was really efficient. Our rushing game continues to look really good as a team. Elijah was almost at 100 yards. He's also catching a lot of balls out of the backfield, being very versatile in that way. But I think even the team and the coaches will say that we're leaving some meat on the bone every single game, and I just would hate to get get into a position later in the season where one of these games where these points were not scoring cost us a ball game. We already saw that versus Boston College. We didn't kick a field goal early in the game. Second half we couldn't go down and score. Just one more possession, 3 more points even would have put that game away and would have felt real good about it. So I think we're still leaving a little meat on the bone offensively as far as how good we can be, and that's because I think we have all the position players and just all the talent and the scheming and play calling in the world. We can be really good. We're just not consistently there to that point. But a B still pretty good, so I'll take it. Now, what about your grade for the defense?
Oh, defense getting an A plus. Granted, they did give up 400 yards, but they came up big with some stops, which kept Sam Houston from putting points on the board and only holding them to 14. And so, yeah, I'll give them an A plus.
Yeah, defense gets an A plus, A's across the board. To highlight, what you just said, the first 4 possessions of the second half, Sam Houston had 2 missed field goals, one of those being a block, a fumble, and a punt. So we opened the second half with some attitude. Even though we didn't score in the third quarter, we also were shutting them down because at the time it was a close game. It was 17-14. That could have been a momentum swing for Sam Houston if we allowed them to tack some points on the board, but they missed a field goal, pushed it hard right, then had another one blocked. So our defense was just playing lights out, just like they have been all season. They are putting us in position to win each and every single week. Hats off to the defense. An A for Tyson Summers and crew. What about your grade for the special teams?
Special teams, whenever I was listening to it on the radio, Randy actually said that Cole Maynard during halftime stayed out on the field practicing his punts the entire halftime. He did not go in the locker room. He was out there because, when you come out and you punt, 17 yards for your first punt, you shank it out of bounds. I think his second punt was only like 24 yards, if I remember right. So he obviously knew he had to work on that, and it was just an off night for him, I'm sure. Lucas, though, 100 for 100 or 4 for 4, 100%. Long 51. I'm going to give them an A as well because you're right. His punts didn't really cost us anything. And Lucas is on fire right now.
I'm going to give him a B, and only because of a little downtick because of the punting, not to the level that I know that Cole knows he can do better. He's done better all season. He's been a boot. He's been, booming 50-yarders down there, flipping the field on the regular. So I don't know what was going on, but a B still pretty good. Again, didn't cost us anything, didn't hurt us in the grand scheme of things. But one of those things that if it happened again in a tight game, could cost us some points or some position on the field. So B, I still think is fair. What about your coaching grade versus Sam Houston?
I feel like I'm going to give the coaches a B. Well, if I could split it up. Offensive coaching, like we said ad nauseum, could have been a little bit better. Could have been a lot better. Especially there after halftime when you come in, you talk, and you game plan again, basically start of a new game. And you just kind of go scoreless in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, you put up 14, but, If Sam Houston would have went on, scored another 14 or 7 there in the third, we're looking at a closer game here. But I will give the coaching a B.
I'm going to go with an A. I think the coaches have called good games. Defensively, really pulling that grade up. I think offensively, it really just comes down to execution and being more consistent. It's not always play calling. Sometimes it's just executing the play in front of you and turn it into a positive. Not everything's always going to work out and be perfect. But I think the coaches have had a real good grasp of this team this year. And definitely called a good game in this one. Still would like to see more points on the board, especially as we look forward, to this gauntlet coming down, Jacksonville State, Liberty at the end of the year. I don't want those to be shootouts. I think our defense can hold their own and bow up in both of those games. But definitely want to see the offense take another step forward or two kind of before we get into those two really important games. But I'm still going to give coaching an A. What about overall your grade for this game?
Overall, I think it's going to have to be A minus. I feel like some things could have been better. Hopefully, we got the bad stuff out of our system, punting especially, and hopefully we come out. We get used to this bye. We can use this bye week to better work on our offense. So make sure we don't leave points off the table whenever we should be scoring them later on in the season.
You done upset Reed. Man. He wants an A plus. He is what he wanted. But I'm gonna give him an A as well. Overall, I think it was a convincing victory. Coming in against a team that thought they had some momentum, thought they had some juice. They were favored in this game. They really had something to prove as the newcomer to the league in their second year. 3-9 last year, riding high. They were 5-1 coming into this game. Got knocked back a little bit. Had to, kind of a reality check, knocked out their starting quarterback, Hunter Watson. We talked about how dynamic he was and could have been. And once he was knocked out of this game, completely changed. Their offense was just stagnant. Their backup just couldn't get it done for him. And I don't feel sorry for him. We're technically playing with our backup. So no sympathy over here. No pity. I don't feel sorry for you. Get a better backup, I guess. That's all I can tell you. But overall, I'm giving those guys an A. But really good victory overall to get to recap. Obviously, now we're going into a bye week. Here for week 9. It's Tuesday, like I said, as we record. No Wednesday or Thursday game. There's some awful Tuesday night Conference USA games going on right now. I think Sam Houston just went final. I think they won. I think the La Tech game was still ongoing. But if you're into watching that kind of football, they're playing midweek tonight, tomorrow. Tune in. But we've got a bye week. Again, we had another post-game Spaces about an hour after the Sam Houston game finished. Those are becoming really fun, and they're gaining a lot of traction. A lot more people are starting to show up. A lot of the same and familiar faces every week, but we had a lot of new people pop in last week, and we're just listening. We even had one of the football players popped in and was listening for a moment. So pretty cool that's getting a little bit more love and recognition. Just really kind of brings back that old, radio call-in show while you're driving home and can vent your frustrations or celebrate the win. And luckily, pretty much all these have been wins except for the Boston College game. So we're going to keep that rolling as best we can as the season continues forward. Obviously, we have this bye week, like I just said, coming up. So no opponent. We can just sit back and watch some other Conference USA football. Like we said, basketball season's coming up real quick. We'll be putting out a basketball preview episode real soon. And then next week, we'll preview the Kennesaw State midweek matchup with the Flo Rida pregame concert. Then hopefully just a good and great tailgating atmosphere. And what I think should be a pretty convincing win. I'm looking at our projected scores right now. I think both of us will be altering our projected scores as I look at them right now because Kennesaw State has not looked good. But let's not underestimate them. Anything could happen. Really looking forward to it. I hope our team and our guys get to soak in, this victory and being 3-0 in conference and have this, 2 weeks off now to get healthy, get healed up and ready for Kennesaw State, and then the stretch run of the season with New Mexico State following that, then La Tech, Liberty, Jacksonville State. So, every game right now, it feels kind of playoff mode, win and control your destiny. I would love to host a Conference USA championship right here in Bowling Green. Feels like it's been forever, since that 2016 season when we did. But we're right in position, no team, including Liberty, which has yet to lose a game in Conference USA play dating back to last year. And 3-0 so far this year. They've yet to lose a Conference USA game, but they've looked very, very beatable. And then Jacksonville State, they'll be tough as well. But every game's winnable. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this, the rest of this season plays out, because our defense, like we've said over and over again, they have been lights out all year. Definitely the best and most impressive position unit on this team. Probably kind of surprising, if you go back to our position breakdowns, there were a lot of questions, some turnover there, but we've added a lot of good pieces. Obviously had some guys that came back that have really just spearheaded this solid group. So really good victory. Looking forward to a bye week, and then talking about basketball, in the next couple of days. And then looking forward to Kennesaw State next week. So Tyler, hit us with your final words and take us on out of here.
All right, so this may be kind of abbreviated because Reed is in there. He is not happy at all. The La Tech game just went final. La Tech won 14-10 over UTEP, so real hard-nosed football game there. Tomorrow night, interesting to see Kennesaw State versus Liberty. Can the Owls upset the Flames? Maybe. Weirder things have happened. I'm hoping they do, just because that'd be funny. But and then MTSU plays Jack State, so I think we know who that was going to go to. But hopefully the team uses this bye week to get healthy. I don't think we have too many players injured right now. Let's just recuperate and come back ready, firing on all cylinders next week, so we can show Flow Rider a good time. Flow Rider a good time. Sorry, but nah, the space is awesome. I can't stress that enough. It does take me back. I remember after a few years ago. Oh, who's that dude who used to do the basketball post game show? Legend. I can't remember his name. He used to come on the radio show after the basketball games. He was a WKU legend. He passed away a few years ago, but man, I'm going to kick myself for not coming up with his name. But it was fun listening to that. And so yeah, if anybody, if you're able to check in with those on Twitter or X, and man, let's just continue this football season, basketball season. I cannot wait. It should be a really great season. I know some clothes I'm going to get from the NIL store about that celebrates last year's championship, and I'm probably going to get me one of them. Tops win, you win, we lit, baby. Woo! So yeah. So with that, Moff, who has it better than us, bro?
Nobody, buddy. You know it.
No, go Tops.
Go Tops. Later, guys.
See ya.